Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive here on Book to Read.
It's great to be back.
You know, I'm so excited for today because we're going to be talking about The Last Olympian by Riordan.
Oh, excellent.
Which is the final book in the Percy Jackson The Olympian series. So we are closing it out. This is episode 44.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd go out with a bang.
Absolutely. Couldn't think of a better way.
So maybe you could tell us a little bit just about like what your overall impressions of the book are. We'll just kind of jump right in.
Oh, yeah. I think The Last Olympian is a fantastic conclusion to the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series. It really brings everything to a head and everything's just amped up to 11. It's just so action-packed and just like the stakes are super high.
Yeah, we're talking about war with Kronos.
Oh, yeah, full-on war with Kronos and the Titans. Like it's a big deal. And it's all coming down to this.
And we find out right away, right, that Percy's on a mission to blow up a cruise ship.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Which is kind of an intense way to start a book.
Definitely sets the tone.
And then he runs into his dad, Poseidon.
On the cruise ship.
What?
Talk about a family reunion.
Yeah, no kidding.
Definitely not your average father-son bonding moment.
So that's just the beginning.
Just the tip of the iceberg.
So much happens in this book. He has to go on a quest for a prophecy, and then there's a spy in Camp Half-Blood, and oh my gosh.
And Typhon.
Typhon, that's right.
The giant monster that all the gods had to team up to defeat the first time around.
I'd forgotten about that.
Oh, yeah. And he's back with a vengeance.
So how do you think Riordan does with building up the tension to this final battle? Because it's not just about all these monsters coming at Percy. It's about...
Right. It's definitely more than just monster battles. It's really about the characters and their development and how they're dealing with all this pressure. It's like the weight of the world is literally on their shoulders. And Riordan does such a great job of weaving in these personal moments amidst all the chaos. You see Percy struggling with this prophecy that's basically telling him he's going to die. And
oh yeah, and he's actually afraid of that, right?
Yeah, he's terrified, which I think makes him so much more relatable because he's not just this fearless hero. He's a kid who's facing his own mortality, and that's pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, and I think that makes his courage even more impressive. He's not just, blindly rushing in. He knows the risks, and he's still willing to fight.
Exactly. It's not about being fearless. It's about overcoming your fear. And then you have Annabeth, who's just a rock in this book. Her loyalty to Percy is unwavering, even when she's worried about him.
Oh my gosh, yes. She never gives up on him.
Never.
Yeah.
And then there's Nico, who's dealing with all this anger towards the gods, but he still steps up to help because he knows what's at stake. Their stories are just so intertwined with the main plot, and it adds so much depth to the whole thing.
Okay, but let's be real for a second here. The battle in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
That is what we're all here for, right?
Absolutely.
It is so epic.
Yeah.
You've got the demigods holding down key locations. You've got allies swooping in.
It's like the Avengers, but with Greek mythology.
Yes, exactly.
And you see them all working together, their individual strengths become even more powerful as a team.
Yeah, and the sacrifices. Oh my gosh, Selena Beauregard, that was...
Oh man, that one hit hard.
It did. It was so sad. But it also, showed you that even in this world with gods and monsters, that it's those human connections that matter.
Absolutely. The relationships, the friendships, the love, it's all there.
Yeah.
And it makes the stakes feel even higher.
For sure. So we've got to talk about that final showdown with Kronos.
Oh, yeah. The big one.
Everything comes down to this moment.
Yeah.
Kronos has Percy, Annabeth, and Grover cornered, and...
But it feels like all hope is lost.
Right. They're totally outnumbered and outmatched.
And Percy has this impossible choice to make.
Kill Luke.
Yeah, his former friend. To stop Kronos. It's a huge moral dilemma.
It's heartbreaking. Because Percy knows that Luke is in there somewhere, but he's also being controlled by Kronos.
Yeah.
And it's just
it's a lose-lose situation.
Yeah.
But it's Annabeth who understands Luke better than anyone. She sees his weakness, and that gives Percy the opening he needs.
And then, bam, Poseidon and his army arrive.
Like a boss.
Right. Talk about a grand entrance. The tide turns. But
it's not over yet.
No. Luke briefly regains control, which gives Percy that chance to strike.
It's so intense, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time.
And then Percy does something totally unexpected.
He refuses godhood.
What?
I know. I remember reading that for the first time and being like, wait, what? What just happened? Why would he do that?
It's such a powerful moment.
It really is. So what do you think led him to that choice?
Well, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier about, those human connections being so important.
Yeah.
Like throughout the whole series, you see Percy struggling with this whole demigod identity.
Yeah.
Like he never really feels like he belongs in either world.
He's stuck between two worlds.
Right, and he sees the flaws in both. The gods can be just as petty and power-hungry as humans.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely not perfect.
And the mortal world often ignores or fears what it doesn't understand.
Yeah, they just don't get it.
But it's his love for his mom and his friends that keeps him grounded. That's what makes him a hero, not his powers.
That's such a good point. It's not about being a god, it's about who you are as a person.
Remember that scene where his mom shows up in the middle of the battle with a shotgun?
Oh my gosh, yes. Sally Jackson.
Blasting monsters. Talk about a mom who will do anything to protect her kid.
She's amazing.
That's courage right there.
Seriously, like she doesn't even hesitate.
I know.
It's just like, bam, take that monster.
It's the best.
It's such a great example of how Percy's strength comes from those human bonds. Like that's his true power, It's not about being a god, it's about the people he cares about.
And I think that's what ultimately leads him to choose immortal life.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like he's finally realized what's truly important to him.
And it's such a powerful message for readers, especially young ones. You don't need superpowers to be a hero. It's about the choices you make, the people you stand by, and it's okay to choose your own path.
Even if it means saying no to godhood, which is pretty crazy when you think about it.
Totally.
So we can't forget about Rachel Dare. What happens to her?
Oh, yeah. She becomes the new Oracle.
What?
Yeah. It's kind of a shocker.
That's such a big change.
I know. From Percy's friend to the voice of prophecy.
And it keeps that whole, fate versus free will thing going.
Definitely. Like, the prophecy might lay out a path, but it's still up to the characters to decide how they respond to it.
Just like Percy choosing to stay mortal.
Right. And Rachel accepting her role as Oracle.
It's like they could have resisted, but they chose to embrace their destinies on their own terms.
It adds a whole other layer to the story.
It does. Thinking about this book and all the adventures and the battles and everything, it makes me want to connect with other fans.
Me too.
And just geek out about it all.
You know what's perfect for that? Bookspace.
Oh yeah, Bookspace. I love Bookspace.
It's like this amazing app for book lovers. You can connect with people, share your favorite quotes, organize your to-read list, and just dive into all these discussions about books.
It's like having a book club in your pocket.
Exactly. And it's perfect for series like Percy Jackson. You can find other fans swap theories and maybe even discover your next great read.
So if you're looking for a community of fellow bookworms, head over to Bookspace. You will not regret it.
No, you won't.
Okay, but back to The Last Olympian. What are some of the big takeaways that you think we can learn from this book?
I mean, for me, it's all about courage, loyalty, and sacrifice. Percy and his friends, they face some crazy challenges, but they never give up. They support each other, they're willing to risk everything, and they ultimately win because they believe in themselves and in what's right.
And they show us that even in the darkest of times, hope and love can still win out.
That's so true. It's such a powerful message, and it really sticks with you even after you finish the book.
Yeah, it really does stick with you. It's not just a fun adventure story. It's it makes you think about things.
Yeah, for sure. It really makes you think about what it means to be a hero and what's truly important in life.
Exactly. So The Last Olympian, it's about finding your strength and embracing your flaws and just fighting for what you believe in.
Even when it feels like the whole world is against you.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that makes it so powerful is that it leaves you with a sense of hope. Even after all the crazy stuff they go through,
right?
Percy and his friends still choose to believe in a better future.
It's like a testament to just the human spirit, No matter how tough things get, there's always that spark of hope and a chance for things to get better.
And sometimes all it takes is one person.
Yeah.
To ignite that spark and make a difference.
That's beautifully put. I love that. It's been so great diving into this book with you. It's definitely a story that stays with you.
For sure. So to all our listeners out there, if you want to keep talking about The Last Olympian and all things Percy Jackson,
yeah, there you go.
Head over to Bookspace.
Yeah, share your thoughts. Debate those burning questions and maybe even find your next great read.
Exactly. And that wraps up episode 44 of Book to Read.
Wow.
Thanks for joining us on this epic journey through The Last Olympian.
It's been a blast.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.